Down on have the same one of these stocked bulbous sponges.
And this is more of this gold floor, seafloor that I'm an expert in.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm particularly fascinated by that, whatever it might be.
I think I know what this is. This is sediment.
But there's
What about the gold stuff?
Yeah, there's a little gold stuff there, but
Yep.
I was half right.
It does look
I don't know. Maybe
depositional in nature.
well, I wonder if this is some of Beth. She was talking about some of these crust form these iron deposits on them, and I wonder if that's what we're seeing.
Yep.
Oh. Chrysogorgid.
Could we see a gulper eelfish here?
No. Well, we might, but I mean, we're not going to be that lucky, I don't think. Oh, there's a, no, that's a coral. Okay. Another, be a Narella or something. I don't know what that gold stuff is. Now it's going to start to bug me. So instead of looking at animals, I'm going to be looking at all these little gold sediment deposits. There's two different, oh, no, that's probably a bamboo, the one on top. Wonder if we could take a quick snap at that.
Yeah, we can have a snap zoom. Go ahead.
If it is, this might be a collectible. I'm not sure it is, but
Like the top one?
yeah.
Well, we're going to have to stop immediately and probably come back if we need to sample it. We're in fast mode, which is not...
Okay, well, let's keep going on. I think it's a primnoid, so
Primnoid.
sorry. It just seemed like it had pretty big polyps on it.
Yeah, the fast thing, the ship is about, what, about a ship length ahead of...
50 meters ahead of Argus.
50
Okay.
meters ahead of
Oh,
ours.
Whoa,
look
look
at
at
that.
those guys. I think it's the same thing again. It's just these are kind of larger ones up here. And look at the way they're both facing. Sort of
Uphill.
I guess it's uphill. I don't know if it's downhill or uphill. I'm very curious.
That's a Chris question.
Chris, do you want us to keep it moving or you want us to settle it out so we're ready for sampling if you see something?
No, let's keep it moving for now.
Okay, we'll do. Bridge nav.
There's a nice sponge coming up here. See Argus view.
Oh, yeah.
Can I get a 50 meter step
Ooh.
bearing 210?
Oh, beautiful.
Whoa.
Oh, wait.
We're not going to sample this, are we?
Do you want to look
No,
at
but
this?
There's a big one.
we could image it again briefly
hold
at
position.
least.
Bridge, hold position. Sorry about that.
This is the same thing, that giant sponge we saw the other day. If we can get some lasers on this thing. Like
Yeah, sure.
Can I zoom on Argus? Is that all right? Yep. Cool.
This actually looks like it's as big or
Sorry.
bigger than the one we saw the other day.
You think so? Oh, yeah. That's a monster.
Yeah.
Coming around.
So those are
And
that's
we're
10
looking at the
centimeters.
side of it, and we were looking at the front end before to get it. This may be another meter across type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That might be an exaggeration.
What's the genus on this again?
It's another type of Calophacus.
Calophacus.
I think it's Calophacus
Put a tighter zoom on Argus if you
oxydexicus.
want.
So 10
Yeah, it's a
centimeters between those two
Yeah.
green dots. Our
I need some
viewers
focus on
can
Argus too.
calculate the size on their own, potentially.
Yeah, so it's this guy.
Oh, Roselidae, Calophacus.
Aaron, could you check the
Thanks,
focus on
Chris.
Argus, please?
Yep, sorry. Got one going on.
Are we getting
Nice.
some
There we go.
shots of this?
Yeah.
Hello?
Can I kill the lasers?
Yeah, yep. I think that'll do it. Thank you. Stock seems as long or longer than the other day.
Oh, that looks very clear.
Aaron, if you see fit, you
Oh,
can
that
zoom.
would be a really nice picture. Oh, there was a little fish there.
Okay,
swimming.
I will in one
Whatever you
second.
think.
I think I'm just going to let it go a little bit
Yeah, totally.
further.
You know, that looks like a fist to me.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Kind of does.
That looks really beautiful, Carnelos.
I'm thinking like a gramophone.
Okay, I'm going to zoom now.
Sure. Get some view of this. What do you call the mesh part?
Well, this is more the body. This is where it actually filters here. That's why it's got all these little holes. And then the stalk is mostly just a structural component. It really doesn't, as far as I know, it really doesn't filter and
Just gets it up into the water column.
gets it up into the water column where it can really get good stuff.
Oh, there's something inside of it. A red.
Yeah, a little crab. He's found
There's a
himself.
Yeah, crab or squat lobster in that upper part, and then
Oh yeah, there's a little shrimp. Yeah, that's Bathypallinoma, or however you
and what is that,
something or other.
Chris? That's a larger crab.
Yeah, that's a crab there.
And sponge is supporting a pretty good community of animals living inside of it.
All sorts of little nooks and crannies here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that provides some protection for them.
There's some small stuff there too. I can't make it out from this far away, but there's some really, really tiny critters in there too. The size of a hole almost. See that almost dead center?
Yeah, the little white guy, a little
thing, yeah.
amphipod or something. There are amphipods that live in these sponges.
Looks like there's a nice little collection behind this too, if you want to spend some time here.
Should get Argus off the wall then.
Yeah, let's take a look, see what else we got.
I'll leave it for a sec.
Oh, I see.
All right, you can come
this
wide
is
at your
one of
leisure.
these oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. It's one of those white paragorgids and some more coralliums.
Do you want us to set up to spend some more time here?
I don't think so. I think I'm seeing the same characters.
Okay.
Here.
I bet I get image
That's
the
a
stock here.
I'm sorry, but that's a fist. That's not a gramophone.
Really skinny wrist fist. It's a Popeye fist.
It is.
You are way too young to know that show.
Do you think it would eat spinach?
It's just ridiculous.
So yeah, again, so these stems, they aren't exchanging anything with the substrate. They're just for structure to hold the
I think
Right
so.
now.
sponge in place.
About how many pictures did you take of this giant sponge?
I got a bunch.
Yay.
Yeah.
Go
I
for
know.
a
I'll
try
try
to
to
zoom
take.
on Argus if you
I'll
want.
try to take more.
Yeah,
I'm just
thank
going to leave
you.
it like that
Yeah.
for a minute.
Oh, that's
Oh,
gorgeous.
that's a really cool picture there with Hercules.
But yeah.
Nice.
It gives,
Oh yeah, the
it
Argus
gives us
view.
an idea of how big it is.
That's pretty darn big.
Yeah, good idea.
Oh, there's another crab on top
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, a little Munidopsis, I think. Those are pretty easy crabs to ID from a distance because just about every single one of them is white, and they have kind of blunt claws in the front. So it's very characteristic. It has some very characteristic
Can you
features.
zoom in on the base, please?
Do we
Yep.
have that sponge in this guide?
That's another sponge.
That's it.
Yeah, we have the sponge in the guide.
Oh, in
So-
this one though, because I think
20
the one I
centimeter
have
base.
is different.
Yeah, this is a different sponge right next to it, to the
Oh.
left.
It's amazing though, eh? Like, look at this. I'll try to paint it with the lasers here. That's the base. It's holding the whole thing up.
Yeah,
20 centimeters wide.
that sponge found a solid perch, and
Yeah, I'll
that's-
say.
that's the problem with some of the corals and things that they don't find really.
All right, come wide, please. I think I'm going to move on. The thruster wash is kind of affecting it, so I'd like to get away before I cause any damage.
Do you want me
Great.
to pull wide on Argus?
Yes, please.
Quit while we're ahead here.
Yeah.
Okay, we can start moving along again, I suppose. By the time the ship moves in, I'll be in the right spot.
Roger.
Can you range that down, please? Sorry,
Rich nav?
sub-bottom profiler.
50 meters, 210,
Other down.
please.
Ah.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, sorry, what was the bearing on that one?
210.
Okay, thank you.
Can we zoom at?
Yeah, the gray thing?
It's a sponge, but right there.
Yeah, go ahead, zoom.
And it is a sponge. This is most definitely in the genus Conolasma. It's in the family Eurydidae. I haven't seen very many of these. I think I saw one before. but it's kind of nice to see something different.
Yeah.
Extremely fragile. They're very difficult
Okay,
to
come
sample
on.
because they
Yep.
just come apart.
So those aren't glass sponges?
Yeah, it's a glass
It is
sponge,
a
yet
glass sponge.
another variety of glass sponge, and that form actually works pretty good too for whatever reason.
I'm coming up. Oh, you're coming up too. Good.
Let's see here, where's my...
Lots of little microhabitats in here behind these boulders.
Okay, there we go. That's the guy right there.
That's how you spell it. Got it. Thank you, Chris.
Just tiny bumped in on Argus, just so you know where you're at.
Thank you.
Oh, there's another little fish. Down bottom right.
Inner space, the final frontier where we boulder go.
Boulder go, ha ha. Where no Hercules has gone before.
I'm just amazed at the large number of boulders we're seeing here. We are getting on the flatter part of this ridge, but
Oh yeah, we're about to hit a little plateau, huh?
yeah, we're coming up to sort of a flatter area. No, we kind of like that ledge. It's kind of nice to come up and see what's up on the top of this ridge too. Periodically, we sort of get the sense that there's not as much life up here, but we may be wrong.
It's amazing to think like this is the less steep, less life part. But if I look, at it as a profile view, it's like a 45-degree talus slope. Like,
Yeah.
it's not flat. Just flat in comparison. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, well, yeah, you are kind of on the contours. You're on sort of a flatter area, and yet it is still 45 degrees, as you said. So we're picking up more sediment, so this type of slope can hold more sediment.
DVL trails, just who knows? No, I don't care. It's funny. Just like, oh, sure, you can do it whenever, yeah.
Another dead sponge off to the right, one of those big farreid sponges, quite old. It's got a bit of manganese crusting on it.
Oh yeah, that vertebrae looking.
Yep, Skeletor.
Skeletor.
I think you offended Rennie and Jess with your TVG yesterday.
They didn't like it?
Oh my gosh, they were like, what is that? That was the first
Really?
thing chase.
Sweet.
Too many bright lights, I guess.
Cool. Dan loved it.
I know, it's like a split right down the middle. Love it or hate it.
I like when they show you, when the instruments show you things,
Is that what they're for?
give you information.
So is this the ridge top, and we're sort of looking at the other slope over to the starboard?
What do you mean by the other slope?
Well, I mean, the whole thing is a ridge.
Like you think you're looking at the rounded part of it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the optical illusion, but it certainly doesn't look like it from HYPACK, as though we're quite there yet.
Yeah, well, 100-meter cells, resolution-wise.
Yeah, it kind of looks like we're on the flat part, so I wonder if we could run this sort of spine up a little bit.
Sure. So that's kind of direct 180.
Yeah, look that
Yeah,
way.
there it is. That's where.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
See, where's the strike of the spine?
Right about there.
Probably about here. Maybe slightly left because it kind of curls.
all right, 180 then.
Sure.
Bridge nav. Can we get a 50 meter step 180?
Quite understanding the process by which you get these enormous boulders sitting on the top of a fairly narrow ridge.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Not much growing on it.
No. Those are some pretty nice pillows there, right at the bottom of the frame. They're sort of directed along the ridge line, the way they're flowing.
Speaking of flowing, you can really see the current here with all the little marine snow going left to right.
So it's coming from, we're doing south, so it's coming east to west. Is that right? Am I interpreting that right? South. That's right, isn't it? If it's going...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
East to west.
So we were on the up current slope. It should be the good slope, I would assume, for filter feeders.
So one of our viewers wants to know why we have seen dead sponges and not so much dead corals. Why would that be?
Well, just like last night, you're getting a lot of good questions. I think it's because the difference in the skeletons. So
There's another fish.
the sponges are made of silica, or essentially glass, and that may be a little harder to break down versus the corals, which tend to have these sort of carbonate or proteinaceous skeletons. So I don't think the sponges are necessarily dying at a faster rate. I just think they're persisting longer before they decompose, and to the point where some of them are actually getting that manganese crusting on top of them, which means that they're laying there for a long time.
And
If you think about it, if we had a piece of glass here laying on the seafloor, that's going to last for a really long time. So that's what they're
And then
made.
does that have to do with sponges being one organism in comparison to the corals? They're different little organisms together?
No, I don't think so. I think it's, you don't see skeletons of every single type of sponge. You know, and I think it's got to be a hard sponge where they have their siliceous spicules or spicules made of silica, and then they tend to glue them together with even more silica. And so they're more glass-like, and that really persists for a long time, where sponges that don't, they're soft sponges, I think they can decompose and break apart, and so we never see those. Well, the corals, I think, is the same thing, but there are places where we've seen big beds of coral skeletons as well. But I don't think they last as long as the sponges, just by the different composition.
Yeah. Thank you.
You got any more hard-to-answer questions?
Well, this is the hardest one. How long do you plan to dive for?
We're going to pull up at midnight,
Okay.
and this is Hawaii time, so that would be, let's see, That's going to be in another a little over 5 hours. And then we're going to try to turn everything around and drop the ROV in the water again 4 hours later. We'll see if that works. Our transit is not very long. So we'll
okay.
to the next dive site.
And what depth is our seamount?
That's a good delta
at
there, you can
right
see
now?
there.
Okay.
Well, we're at a depth right now at 2,252 meters. Of course, we're a little bit up off the bottom.
Looks like you're getting a lineup of some stuff there on the
Some life.
edge.
Life.
These are going to be barnacles all over these rocks, I think. But let's take a look. We've got something coating.
On the rocks?
I was looking at the fluffy stuff. Are you looking at the barnacles?
Yeah, I might as well take a quick look at the barnacles, and then we can look at...
Barnacles are these little white
yeah, these
specks.
little white lines. These could be stoloniferans, so maybe over on the right side of the boulder, because there's a little bit of linearity to them.
Okay, zoom in, please.
Yep.
Oh, there's a dead sponge. Look at that.
Teeny.
Barnacles. Balanoid barnacles. There's some dead stalks or stumps of things. And if you keep panning down, you're going to see something pretty cool.
Might bonk before I get down there.
Oh, okay. Where is it? Where did it go?
Right there.
There it is. Okay.
Oh.
That's a different type of dead sponge. Well, it's not that different. I don't see these kind of the actual. I call them a dish. They're almost like a radar dish. I don't see them
I
very
thought
often.
that's what you were looking for.
Yeah.
That sponge under the barnacles.
Okay,
yeah.
wide,
I mean, I
please.
saw
Yep.
that as well. But you know, oftentimes you see that sort of skeleton-looking type of a sponge, and then this is kind of the.
Oh, and then
disc.
what's that white stuff on the side?
I'm gonna go onto the
Is that
Well-
another sponge?
wrong side.
Not sure where that is. This is a coral right here. And actually, we're starting to get a pickup on some of the life here.
Yeah, it is picking up. Maybe we get into the ridge edge.
Yeah, we're kind of actually not going, well, where are we going? Due south? Oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah, you're so good. Looks
Yeah.
like fun.
Ridge edge, yes.
We've got an eel over there to the right of the screen.
Oh,
Right there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go find him.
Sure, let's go
Okay.
take a look.
Another one's being elusive.
Couple chrysogorgids.
I think you're having an effect on these, Trevor. I think
Okay,
they
zoom
all
in,
seem to be
please.
running
Yep.
away from you.
Yeah. This one here, I'll bet, is another Iliophus. And that's a long distance guess. I'm not sure it's right, but and look at that lateral line, that little ridge that's running down the side of the body. If you could get a close-up of it, because I think that's white. The little pores, the little line pores.
Oh no.
Yeah, they are white. So I think we're looking at the genus Iliophus. It's a
Oh, there's
two
another
of 'em.
one.
Yeah, it's a cutthroat eel.
Is that another eel or a fish?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
They're fighting.
But that
All
was
right,
a great
hit
view. That
wide,
allowed us
please.
to actually go to genus on that one.
Cool.
So thank you. There's a big sponge.
Nice big sponge.
Same. I think it's the same, just a bigger one of ones we've been seeing. Polyopogon. How sharp the left side of this ridge is.
Yeah, it dropped straight off.
Want to do another?
Ready? Bridge nav, can I get another 50 move bearing 180?
Yeah, I'll give him that this is definitely uglier.
I don't like that color palette.
No.
That's not the same one that you had yesterday.
So to our viewers around the world, thank you for the questions. And it's fun to read where you are watching us from. If you are following us in nautiluslive.org, you can see on the main
I can do it.
page,
What do you want it on?
we
Let's just do 20 in
have
normal.
live data information about the depth of our rovers,
20 in normal.
including the temperatures of the waters. If you want to know more about the team, the exploration team, you can scroll down in the main page and you can see who's on watch right now. So keep those questions coming. Thank you.
I kind of like this terrain. It's a little different, but it's kind of.
Is that another little eel over there? Yeah.
Where's the other?
To the right?
To the right.
It's
Oh, yeah.
tiny.
It's about the middle of the screen right now.
Little
middle right.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there he is. Yeah, if we could zoom in on this one, I think he's different.
See what I can do.
Come on, pal, give us a look. Come on. Don't be so camera shy.
He's getting away from me. I'm going to be
Should
at
I
the end
just
of my
go
leash
for
here.
it?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, stick with this fish.
Where are you going? Ah, come back.
Oh. I know what you are, I think.
Oh, there's another one.
I know, we got to stick with this fish.
Yeah, we're at the end of our leash. I can't go forward anymore.
Come down a little bit.
Okay,
Wait,
he's
he's
turning.
Coming back towards
So
us.
that-
Yeah.
Oh,
That's one of those lobsters, I think, the primitive lobsters.
Or sea cucumber? Is it lobster? You think?
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe we saw
Where'd
that
he go?
fish.
There it is.
There he is.
Come back.
oh. Come back.
This is not studio quality imaging.
Wait, we're almost got it.
It has a pretty big eye.
It's beating against the current. You can really see the currents howling down here.
You can zoom more if you got it.
Kind of an
Nice
awkward
anemone.
fish,
Ooh.
isn't he? He's sort of like,
Look at this
Yeah.
little speckling.
yeah.
Pretty neat.
I'll mention the idea in a moment. I'm just sort of mesmerized watching him.
Oh, look at that
This is actually
face.
pretty rare video, if we can stick with him for a moment.
It looks like an owlfish.
That's what I was thinking, an owlfish.
It's not an owlfish.
It looks like an
It's
owl.
not an owlfish.
That speckled owl cover face
guys.
like an
It's
owl.
a hard one to image. Wow.
Come
When
on.
I'm a mile away
Okay, this is going to be a snail fish. Doesn't it look like a snail to you
Oh.
guys? It's a liparid. And I think it was first documented by the Okeanos during Capstone, I think one time, and everyone was sort of thinking it's a brand new fish species that right now it's still undescribed, I believe, but I'm going to double check. Can't believe we saw that fish.
Oh, there's some current
Real.
here. There's some current.
Hope Ken is watching. I don't know if he's signed off or not.
No, the
He is
science portal.
really,
He's trying so hard and he's getting nowhere.
The science
He's
portal's
getting
been pretty
somewhere.
cool.
he's moving like crazy.
But he's not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere, no.
Totally swimming in place. Probably blowing like a month's worth of food and energy for this guy just to run away from us.
Wow. I'm not slurping him, I'll tell you that.
No. You have to have
No.
the super slurpee to get it.
Okay, I think that's
That's how
as
we're
far as,
gonna
far
get.
as we can get.
Look
Yeah.
how far away he was.
He's tiny and far away.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
very fast.
Oh,
That was a good
pillow
good
was.
effort.
Yeah.
You got some good stills, I'm sure, from that. I'm trying
I'm
to
not
figure
so
out.
sure.
Oh, you're not so sure? Okay.
I don't
Be
think anything about that
positive,
can be
Aaron. Be
described as still.
positive.
Or quality.
Yeah, but it's rare. You can't always get, that perfect quality on.
No.
We can.
Okay.
It's not good enough.
That's right. We kind of talked about this, didn't it? How competitive you were.
Yep.
I'm having trouble finding where he is in the gallery here. I'll keep looking.
A couple of viewers want to know if there are any shipwrecks in this area.
I don't think so. Not any that we're aware of.
Well, not deep ones, but up on the shallows along the Hawaiian Ridge and Papahanaumokuakea, we have several shipwrecks, and we have those pretty well documented. If you go to our website at papahanaumokuakea.gov and look under the Maritime Heritage section, we have some pretty great documentation on those shipwrecks. So many of them were whaling era shipwrecks where they would leave out of New Bedford, Connecticut, come all the way around the bottom of South America, come into the Pacific and reprovision in Honolulu and Lahaina, and then head west towards the Japan whaling grounds. But quite a few of them didn't make it because these reefs up here weren't charted very well, and so they ran aground in Papahanaumokuakea, and some of these islands and areas are actually named after the ships that went aground. Like Pearl and Hermes is named after two 19th century British whaling vessels that ran aground on Pearl and Hermes, the Pearl and the Hermes. So not at these depths because the tops are nowhere near the surface, but certainly in the shallows there are quite a few shipwrecks in Papahanaumokuakea.
I'm not sure if you run your ship aground, you should get something named after you.
Yeah, no kidding. That seems like...
Well, you know, the most fascinating one that comes to mind is the famous story of Moby Dick.
I know you
Oh,
go
I just
for
read
it.
Heart of the
story.
Sea.
This is great. So
Have you read that? It's
No.
it's what Moby Dick is based on. Heart of the Sea.
Yeah, the Heart of the Sea.
I just
Bridge
read
map.
that
That's
like
that's
a month
great
ago.
book.
It's
But this poor guy, so James Pollard was his name, Commander James Pollard, and he commanded the whale ship Essex, which was sunk by being rammed by a sperm whale. And his ship sank, the Essex sank, and they drifted in lifeboats for 70 days, I think it was.
70.
Oh my gosh.
They resorted to cannibalism
A lot of
towards
it.
the end. And then they were rescued off the coast of Chile. And after a couple months, he finally made it back home to New Bedford. And what does this guy do again? Well, they give him another command. He gets in his ship, and he sails again around the coast of South America, comes to Hawaii, reprovisions, and he wrecks on French frigate Shoals. His command was the Two Brothers. He also managed to survive that and found his way back to New Bedford, where I think his career ended after that. But I mean,
he became like a lighthouse keeper or something, didn't he? After
he
that,
was a
because he was
landlord.
considered bad luck.
you would think.
I was like, you think after the first time
I
and
mean,
your
that's
crew
incredible.
resorting to cannibalism, they'd be like, not a very good resume.
Yeah, I guess there weren't many people who were ready to go command. I mean, that's a 2 or 3 year voyage.
Oh,
you
it's
know.
grim. That
It's
book
gr-
does not make it sound like a fun job.
No, the
sounds
whaling
horrible.
vessels was a horrible job.
I wonder what draws you to that.
I think at that time, probably money, I guess.
Money.
And everyone was kind of in the whaling industry in that area at that time, like all the young men were.
Yeah.
Wild.
And that was the oil trade. That was the oil trade of the time. I mean, we had the first lamps around many of the cities and towns around the world were fueled by whale oil. It was literally the petroleum of the time.
So I read Endurance and Heart of the Sea around the same time, and the leadership styles between those two
Shackleton and
between
Pollard.
Shackleton, are so different.
Uh-huh.
But there was obviously quite a different outcome
Look at this rock
for
here.
both boats.
Look at this rock. That's got like a hole in it or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Let's crawl
It's
inside.
got barnacles all over it. and
It's a little
Couple
coral cave in
sponges.
there.
What
Wait,
would
if there's a
cause
coral
that
in it,
hole?
that might mean there's flow, which might mean it's
Ooh,
all the way through.
is it
Which
a
might
tunnel?
mean it's a
Ooh.
tunnel.
Whoa.
This might be
Swim
Yes.
through.
Oh, they're organisms.
Oh, it's so
Coral.
cool.
Yeah, so it's a cracked open pillow
Oh,
lava.
that's a really nice picture.
Oh, wow.
I got you.
Thank you, Tainara.
I like your subtle hints.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, my students would love that
It's a
picture.
portal
in a
to
little bit,
another
please?
dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That is very cool.
Aaron, you want to zoom in there?
Yep, I can zoom in there.
I'd want to live in there, I think.
Oh my
Ooh,
gosh, that's
my
cool.
God.
Yeah, Chrysogorgidae, and you got that. Is that the Militaris, Chris? Is that?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, that's
Militaris.
Militaris.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I'm
let's see
so
if I give it a
fixated on
sec.
trying to find the ID on this fish that I almost
Alright.
wasn't looking.
Come to the other
One
side.
of our viewers, Steve, says, can you
Run
tell
for
us
it.
anything more about
Okay,
that
come wide, please.
snailfish?
I'm
How
trying.
does it compare to the Mariana snailfish?
Well, I don't know, and I'm trying to.
Got poor Chris stumped.
I'm trying to find the.
He's like, it's not a sponge.
He's sweating.
All right, I'm going to zip
Searching.
over here, see if we can get
Tell
this
your
shot.
viewer to stand by. I'm having trouble.
I'm sure he will. He's
That's just-
listening to you.
Break for
Right over the edge.
technical. Steve is asking about our water samples, Chris.
What's that?
So far,
Steve
we
is
only have
asking
one.
about our water
Yeah,
samples.
that's not bad. This is a pretty good area to do a water sample. There's a fair
It's
amount
really
of.
current flowy. I don't know if you can see how fast the water's moving there, but
Oh, okay.
see the corals flapping in the breeze there?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much eDNA you're going to get. Don't know how that affects it, but just wanted to let you know.
Steve says one more here would be nice.
One more Niskin here.
Yeah, I think Steve wants a Niskin.
Yeah. Let's,
Really?
Okay.
Oh, that must be the
Uh,
entrance right there.
Ooh.
Yeah, I really want to look in the
We
entrance.
might
Do
see
you want me
some
to hold
fish
position?
Yeah, please.
Bridge nav, hold position.
Trevor's one of those guys, you take him out snorkeling and he's got to
Thank you.
swim through every lava
I
cave
actually
you
am
can
that
find.
for sure. Yeah.
but
I
this
can
is
tell.
pretty fascinating.
This
It's
is.
a,
Oh, that's
a
so
hollow,
cool.
humongous lava tube.
That is
guess.
really cool.
Yeah.
That's a very
I'm,
nice
I'm
shot,
afraid
too.
the snailfish is going to have to be on. Snailfish hunt is going to have to be on pause
Well,
for a moment.
Can
Snail
I
or
zoom in
fish
on
are
Argus?
slow.
Is that all right?
Fine with me.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
So we can't, I can't quite get low enough to light it up through the tunnel though. It's too bad.
Can we drop a
kind of
new
a-
nav target here and call it the Coral Cave?
I can do that.
That's a
Oh, there's
beautiful.
I really like dropping random nav
Okay.
targets.
Tilt
I really
down a
do.
little bit, Marcus.
What's
Call
that?
it Trevor's Coral Cave.
Did you want full on Argus?
No, I'm talking to Antonella.
Is
Sorry.
it possible to
Good
zoom on those white things that are on the colony right there? Is that
Yeah,
any
zoom in,
chance?
please.
Yep. What's that little orange or yellow thing that was in the bottom left?
Chris, you might want to look at the science portal. There's some,
Oh,
some
man.
chatter.
Oh,
Really hard to sit
okay.
still here.
Sorry, I am ignoring.
That snailfish really threw you, didn't it?
Sorry, come
Yeah,
wide.
it did.
Yep.
Blowing around like crazy.
Yep.
It is very
Wow,
currenty
it's
here.
howling down
It
here.
is howling, yeah.
But
All right,
that's
I'm going to go wide on Argus.
that's what you
So-
want for the
Full
corals.
wide.
The coral's like, look at how the flapping in the breeze there. That's incredible.
Mm.
I'm going to go downwind, down current of them.
Yeah, for the Niskin, that's
And
probably a
take
good
a
idea.
Niskin, I suppose.
Yeah.
I can really see how that collapsed upon itself from the
That's so
hollow
cool.
pillow lava. Very neat.
Could you get the arm out, please?
Kind of an odd orientation, wouldn't you say? It's sort of
Am I doing
almost
this
a
one?
cross slope.
Mm-hmm.
If you want.
Yeah, I wonder what would have caused that.
So I'm going to
Everybody's very
stay
excited
here.
about the cave.
That sound okay?
Yeah. Did you drop a nav target here? Steve Uskovich was
Yep.
suggesting this would
Get
be
it,
a.
get it around. Get it right around. Let's take an Niskin.
I have one. I can put more to see. Want it to say anything special?
Well, just a huge lava tube or something like that.
Okay. So Trevor's Coral Cave isn't doing it for you?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay.
Trevor's coral.
He hasn't sunk a ship. He can't be named.
Yeah. Don't jinx it.
It's where Trevor tried to take Hercules through a coral cave and it didn't work out.
So because of how
Shucks, I didn't find
much Argus is moving, just get any one except for the red one on the top.
Except for the one on top. Okay.
Just pull whatever one you get, and that'll be fine.
it. Oh, I found it. Good grief.
Oh.
Took forever.
Oh, they didn't get a very good shot of it either, so
No,
don't feel so
it's
bad,
really
ROV
hard.
team. It's like very
I
vague.
still feel bad.
Oh,
Say
you
again?
shouldn't. This
What's it
one's,
That's
This
other
one's
Aaron,
way
I think.
far off in the distance.
I was just looking
I
at
was
your
talking
deck.
to the back row. Sorry.
Okay, got it. Good.
Nice.
Nicely done, Antonella.
Let go. Nope, let go. Yeah, there you go.
Did it trigger?
Yep.
Okay.
What was the sample number on that one?
That was 069.
069, thank
It
you.
doesn't take
Yeah,
much to
thank
pull
you.
it. And as soon as I say you got it, you've got it, and you can let go.
Roger.
All right, I gotta go.
How do you say that, Chris? Sednos?
Sednos. Yeah,
Sednos.
the P would be silent. Sednos or paraliparis. Be the two. So it is a liparid and very rare fish. So that was quite a treat. Phew, now I can put that away.
Can you put the arm farther outboard, please?
Yep.
Once you've Argus is a
Sure.
priority, but once you're done
What?
that, Argus management is a priority, and then you do that
Yeah,
arm after.
I'll get Argus situated.
The ship has left us in the dust.
I'll say. Whew.
Yeah, I guess that was a bad decision to come up on the top of this ridge, huh?
Terrible decision.
It generated all sorts of topics.
I prefer
Yeah.
boredom.
I think we all got a little bit jazzed after coming up here. I certainly did. I woke up. This is nice.
Am I pulling you?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I can't come around. I'll come
Oh,
down.
20 meter delta, that's why.
Yep, sorry.
Okay, there we go. Oh, I see. You're both doing it. That's why it wasn't working. We thought of it at the same time. Tilting the camera up.
Yeah.
That's why it's not going.
Oh, yeah.
We both clicked it, which means 2 ups make a
Oh.
stop, I guess.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Sailed up,
Yeah, we're good.
ready to go. Okay. Bridge nav.
So you want the arm a little rotated outboard?
Yep. This is a good spot for recovery, but during...
Okay.
Dragon
50
Island,
meter
yeah.
bearing 180. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Is that okay?
I just close the jaws before you finish.
Sure.
I wonder why that picture was hard to find. It's one of 8,000 pictures in here.
Ah, yes.
We got time.
That's what I've been doing is trying. I knew the picture was in there so I could get a name on that fish and determine that it didn't really have a name yet.
So many barnacles down here.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a huge rock.
Barnacle Garden. Isn't that a Beatles song, Barnacle Garden?
No, I don't think so.
Ah, the lowly barnacle.
I wonder what kind of microorganisms are supporting those barnacles.
I don't know.
Or-
I mean, they'll stick their feet out of their shells. You know, the barnacles are just kind of upside down. They stick their feet out, and they feed in the water column. Things out of the water.
Hey, back row, just I want to make sure that it was captured that was Niskin 3.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
Awesome.
Data is on it.
Big pillow formations up here.
Little corals in the channels between the rocks, too, is cool.
Yeah.
So one of our viewers is reminding us of our objectives. What are our objectives of this dive?
To find hollow rocks, stare at them.
To spend half an hour looking up what the name of some fish is.
I think we just got called out.
Just when we were having fun. Thanks, yo.
So we have collected rocks for our geological studies. And we have collected corals and sponges or biological samples to understand what composition they have, what may be supporting them, and of course there are many species that are not identified yet.
Yeah, so one of our, I mean, a big objective is to try to collect rocks, which we already have accomplished on this trip.
In spades.
Yeah, to try to date these seamounts to link them to some other seamounts further north. And that part we've already accomplished. Another objective is to try to find locations where we have a high abundance of these corals and sponges. I'm not sure we've been anywhere today that qualifies. We've gotten little stands and pinnacles, but we haven't seen an extensive community. But that's what we are also looking for. This is something the monument is particularly interested in knowing about, of course. And a third objective is to find some rocks that are suitable for microbiological studies by Dr. Beth Workutt, who will be coming on next. And I suspect that Beth will be looking hard and long for the type of rocks that she needs. Fourth objective is to see if we can identify any potential new species in the monument. And we've got some of that as well with some of our biological collections. So there's at least 4 major objectives. You know, we act like we're having fun here and exploring, but we're actually trying to accomplish those 4 things at a minimum.
Well, then also our non-televised objective, which is the high resolution bathymetry mapping, because several of these seamounts have never been mapped with the current technology we have.
Oh,
The shrimp party is interrupting my, my little chat here. So,
right there.
so we have been mapping some of these seamounts in high resolution, and that is a process that takes nearly as long as the dive itself in some cases, several hours of going back and forth to map these seamounts and process those data. And John Smith is aboard to dutifully going through the data as it comes in and cleaning it up, because even though these are very complex bathymetry devices we have, there are errors that come back, so they do have to clean up those data, and he's been dutifully going through that. And then ultimately we'll get on Google Earth so you can see these really cool areas we're visiting in as high a resolution as we currently have with the with the bathymetry from the multi-beam sonar that we have.
Yeah, and this is kind of the fun part, but there's a lot that's going on in the laboratory after the cruise, all the processing, all the work that Beth does to do what she needs to do with her specimens. I was down there before I came up here, and we've got this potential new species of anemone, and we were changing fluids out of that in the lab. It's in the hood, and we're also drying some other specimens in the hood as well, so that they can be inspected and shipped to repositories and museums.
Yeah, when the ship comes back in the middle of the night, scientists have to go out on deck and collect the samples and bring them back into the lab so that they don't decay, or they get them in the state right as soon as they're brought up. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes.
A lot of work, and we got pretty excited about that fish because that's only the 2nd time ever that it's ever been imaged. And the first time where we saw it was off of Johnson Atoll. We know that its range extends now to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so that's very important information on that. That's why we took a little bit of time to try to chase it down.
How big was it? Did we get an idea of size?
It's not that big.
Bridge nav, another 50 meters, 180.
Yeah, 15 to 20 centimeters long.
20 centimeters.
Yeah, something like that. That's a guess. He was moving so fast, I'm not sure I saw any moment where the lasers were right on his side to give us an estimate.
My feel was that it was smaller.
What do you think, 10 centimeters?
I would say 10 centimeters, just based on how it was moving and how I don't know how to explain it. I could be totally wrong, but my feel was 10 centimeters.
No,
It felt really, really small,
It felt
Yeah,
really, really
especially when you zoom in and you could only get it in a tiny part of the screen and we're completely zoomed in,
yeah.
not that far away.
yeah, I think you're right. I think I was a little over optimistic on the side there.
You're very excited about that fish.
So was that
Well,
fish. That
I mean,
fish
if
was
it's
very
the second
exciting.
time it's ever
It
been
is.
seen, you better believe I'm going to get excited about it. Also, for the viewer who is asking about this, all of this video that we're taking here, it's all going to be annotated, and all of the data that can possibly be extracted from it will be done. I've already got drives with me on the ship to make copies for the Deep Sea Coral and Research and Technology program, and I'm dropping them off to the laboratory at the University of Hawaii before I fly home to Washington. And they've got a lab that's all set up to annotate this deep water video. They have specialists in that lab. And all of that data, and there'll be thousands and thousands of fields of data that come out of this cruise, that will all be posted on a free internet database that's operated by the Deep Sea Coral Research and Technology Program, a NOAA program. So that is yet another objective.
Wow.
There's a bamboo coral there.
So, yep, bamboo.
Lower left-hand corner.
Going down slope a little bit here.
I love the acronym for that laboratory, the DARK lab, right?
Yeah, the DARK lab. Deep
Very
Annotation
appropriate.
and Research
We
Center.
found a local max.
Yeah.
Or Deep Sea Annotation and Research Center.
Gone down about 3 meters so far.
The science chat is consumed in debating the orientation of the barnacles on the rocks and debating whether it's more optimal for feeding or for reproduction. It's very interesting chat that's going on here.
Ship's going 180.
Yeah, both of
You
them.
want to change?
No, that's fine. It just seems slightly.
Oh, yeah.
Scott, it was an unbranched bamboo that was just barely caught
trying
for a
to go
moment
180.
on the left side of the screen. It's
Wonder if the grid's not
unbranched.
UTM something.
Yeah, we are actually at the end of the UTM zone.
Okay.
So, yeah, it might be a bit of projection.
Cool. Don't often see that. How far to the target?
740 meters, straight line.
All right, well, should we speed things up?
Sure.
Sure.
I somehow suspect that Beth is not going to want to move real fast. If
Yeah, okay.
she's going to want to get her
What's their
2
speed right now?
boxes filled with her rocks. So
It's a
this
good
is-
question. I forget where to look for that.
Are we near the top? that
we're right on the top of the ridge.
0.25. You want to do
Very
0.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Bridge nav.
But that's not the top of the Goyo.
Oh,
Can
no,
we
we're not.
increase speed on this step to 0.5 knots? Thank you.
Is it Guyot or Guyot? Guyot. That's how it's pronounced, Chris.
Guyot.
Guyot.
You don't pronounce the T because it's French.
Guyot.
Look at the puzzle piece in bubble. The rocks that separated and they still have the groove. It's cool. I keep dragging the cow catcher.
So our viewer, Jason, came in just in time when you were reviewing our objectives. Oh. Okay. I think it's, can you hear me now?
Oh, no, thank
now?
you.
That's better.
Oh, okay. Also, I was saying that our viewer, Jason, joined us when you were reviewing our objectives, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a couple of our viewers have mentioned that we haven't seen any debris. on this cruise?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And if we did, we would tag it, right?
Would we what?
Tag?
Yeah, we might tag it already, but yeah, it's not common to see a lot of debris at these depths. And also where we are, we're so far away from any center of human activity. You know, there's no towns nearby or anything, and there's no fishing out this deep, or very little fishing out there. So I wouldn't expect to see a lot of debris here.
Well,
so.
The debris that we do see that's closer are nets and derelict fishing gear that have some degree of float to them, so they don't come down this far in depth. We've estimated in the past there's about 52 metric tons of marine debris that enter into the monument every year, but most of them have some degree of flotation to them, so they attach to the shallow water habitats, and we do remove them. And then last year we removed over 300 tons.
That's incredible.
Of marine debris in one 12-month period.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible effort.
I will say that these dives have been shockingly low amount of debris, anthropogenic detritus, let's say.
You know,
say it tends towards the shallow waters, but I've seen even in the deep waters, you see an occasional, pop can or whatever other kind of garbage.
That's with people that are close, right? So if you have a higher amount of traffic, people throwing stuff overboard, or nobody comes through this area in general.
Yeah, exactly. It's just remote enough that I haven't seen a single piece of garbage, I don't think, which is very noteworthy.
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting that we've seen more garbage in the Mariana Trench than we have here.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's no joke.
Yeah.
But of course, you have all those populated islands right along the trench, too.
I mean, at the mid-Pacific seamounts, we saw more cans and things like that.
Is it also currents, too, that push things?
As a cyanide or something?
Yeah, I'm wondering. It's a black coral.
You can zoom in on the coral, please.
Ooh, black coral.
Yep.
Steve, you hear us?
Oh.
We haven't been
This
seeing
is going to
many
be
black
that
coral.
thing that I'm tentatively identifying as
You can
Trissopathes,
do a
even
little
though
more
I'm not
zoom.
positive
Yep,
that's
I was just
it.
waiting for it to come more center.
Raj.
We can do even more.
Even more.
That's it. That's all you get.
I want more.
But Steve was right in that on some of our earlier dives, we were seeing these all over the place.
Yeah.
And this is like the first time on this
Right.
dive, which is
See
kind
the
of
current
strange.
there. It's gusting
so
almost.
Of
quite
any
a few.
kind of black coral.
Okay, come wide, please.
All right.
Yeah, none of those Bathopathes we're seeing.
Oh,
quite
Scott
regularly.
agrees, and he would know because Scott worked on the black coral, so thank you very much. He guesses it's Trissopathes as well.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. And Steve also thought it was Trissopathes. I need to pay more attention to the chat, you know. It's hard to look everywhere at the Argus.
There's so many screens. We have
this screen.
We have like 50 screens in front of us. I mean, we're gonna get some type of LCD burn on our skin from this.
And then I occasionally peek over at Aphrodite's screen to see what some of the questions are. So
it's a little overwhelming.
It is
sensory
overwhelming.
input.
Yep.
And then you got screens within screens. I've got the Google map. I've got the data from the ROVs. I've got the chat in front of me. I mean, it's quite impressive to keep up with all this.
My excuse is that I'm well over 60. My eyeballs don't
Yeah.
move that fast.
Hey, Chris, can you see HiPAC?
Yes, I can.
Do you
Another
want
screen.
to do you want to change our trajectory a bit to keep along the ridge? What we think is a ridge top?
Yeah, let's keep going on the ridge for a while because I think this is where Beth is going to want to be too. And so, all right, we're going to end up, she's going to be up in another 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
So let's stay up here.
There's another anemone.
Kind of flattened out a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, does
Yeah.
the current diminished up here a
I'm gonna
little
keep
bit?
one
No,
more
current's still going.
move.
It's still cranking
Okay.
up.
180 and then start to curve it.
Roger.
What do you
Yeah,
get?
the current's still going pretty
Bridge
good.
nav, 50 meters, 180, 0.5
Do
knots.
you see the angle of Hercules in Argus there?
Yeah.
I am moving in the direction of Argus, but I'm facing this way to fight the current.
Wow. What,
Wait
does
a
it
second.
give you a speed?
Can you
Does-
say that again, pilot? I'm looking at what you're talking about, but what was that?
So if I face this way, which is the way we're heading, about
Right.
180,
Right.
then I'm going to get, well, let's just watch. Just watch the current here.
Yeah, you're
Watch it
being
push
pushed.
me off to starboard.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
So you have
So
to
it's not
angle.
really, really ripping fast, but it's not zero either.
Yeah.
So I've been